Parts we're using today we found from CPP on eBay.
Welcome back to Bad Attitude C-10. Today we'll be doing our disc brake upgrade to our C-10 truck. The very first thing that we're going to be doing, which is not 100% necessary, it's just something that I was told by a guy several years ago and I started doing it myself. And we're going to use the CRC disc brake wipe. And generally what you can do, you can get a spray or a paste, either one. And we're just going to apply a thin coat of this to the back of the brake pad. And believe it or not, it does help with your brake being chattery or squealy a lot. Alright, while that's drying, we'll get on over and start getting our stuff together. Alright guys, first thing first, we're going to start off by removing this big retaining bolt. That removed, we're going to get our top off the bracket and our shield. Originally I was thinking about not putting the shield on the truck because it is going to be a drag strip truck, but we're going to get a lot of street use out of it too because it's doing drag and drive events, and I drive the shit that I build. It just doesn't sit in the garage because it's not a pretty clean. I'm going to go ahead and put the shield on it for just a second. The cool thing about this kit from CPP, even though we do have the drop spindles, it's brake shield and stuff fit, and they give you all the proper hardware. Alright guys, once we get our main bolt in, we have all our hardware coated with the kit. And the hardware, you notice one's just a little bit longer. The shortest one's going to go towards the back, the largest one will go towards the front. Do come with lock nuts, but we need to be sure to put our steering arm on first. The steering arm we're trying to use is a Gen 1 Camaro because that's what our drop spindles fit. We're hoping that the drop down is not too low. If it is, we might have to get a later model one off of like an El Camino or Isabel. But this is what we're going to do. I mean, we don't know. Here we go. So we'll start by tightening up the tight nut. A 15/16 socket. Once it's snuggled up, we'll use 3/4 inch ratchet and wrench. Alright guys, now that everything's tightened up, this next, there are two little retainers. So we're just going to take a little bitty pry bar. The first one started over. I'm going to kind of put myself in the way of the hammer here. And then you tap it to where it's hitting the side of the bolt. That way. That bolt can never pull or back out. Sorry about that. Up next, we'll get our rotor. So we're going to make sure the bearing surface is clean. If you want to use some brake cleaner, you can. I'm just going to go on about this and try to knock it out as quickly as efficiently as I can. So hopefully y'all can see that pretty decent. So if you're not one of the type of people that has a bearing packer like me, I don't use one. We do the good old method of taking grease, popping it into the palm of your hand, I take the bearing, and with my hand cup, I just go on the back of the cage and start pushing grease until I get it coming out the other side of the cage. And this is not a clean, easy job, guys. This is actually a mess. But it's something you can do even if you don't have a bearing packer. As you can see, it's pretty much totally packed up. If you put a little excess in your hub, it isn't going to hurt anything. Go ahead and drop that guy in. Get that nastiness off your hands. What I'm going to do is get my oil seal. Some of the residual oil off my hand. We're going to put the seal on the back of the hub. Then using a race seal driver, I'm pop it on top of it. It fits. Hammer that guy in. Might not have a good tweener point here, so that's what we're going to do is put that guy right there. As soon as you hear it hit solid, that's good enough. So from there, I'm going to use a rag, and I still have a little grease on my hands. And a little bit of residual grease there. Now we're going to take the front bearing, run it through, just as we did the first one. Your bang, a washer, and our supply of castle nut. I was taught years ago, and I still do it the same way today. You snug it up where it's tight enough that it's not going to go anywhere, but it has no major drag. We're going to use a ratchet with a 1.2" socket. we'll back it off. Just one hair to line up the cotter toe, cotter toe. And of course I'd overrun it. You can see it still expands pretty good. Next, take the cotter key. Lock it through. Alright, be right back. I go get the dust cap. Alright guys, I did throw a little bit of extra grease in the dust cap for good measure. And now we're just going to go, I get this guy on. For some reason these dust caps are a pain in the butt for me. I don't know if I just don't hold my tongue right or what. People wonder why you're always all dented as shit. The only thing I can tell y'all is, I got these little raised dimples on this thing in 3 or 4 spots. It's supposed to make it snugger, I understand. But I mean, good Lord, we need to be able to get this son bitch on. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Take 4. Guys, I do not believe this shit. Oh my God, you have to destroy the damn thing to get it to even go on. That's just fucking ridiculous. Well, I'm glad we're running center caps on this son of a bitch. Alright guys, so I brought in our cake batter coated brake pads. You see that stuff is on there. Alright guys, we're going to put our brake pads in place. As so. And we're going to take our retaining bolt hardware. Guys, be sure when you put the calipers on, you don't get it mixed up. Your bleeder needs to be on top. That way you get all the air out when it's time to put your brakes. We're just going to snug these guys up for now. If there's any torque specs on them, I'll double check it later. Alright guys, so there we have it. Completely installed and on. You can see it spins freely. There it is. Let me try to get this a little more stable. There you go. Alright, we're going to go over to the other side. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap this one up. That looks like shit. Y'all agree? Well, I didn't put a center cap, or a dust cover, sorry about that, on the other side because I kind of did it even worse than that one. So I'll go pick 2 of them up during the week and change them out. Next up, we're going to go ahead and put the steering bump steer kit and the rack and pinion on and make sure that the steering ends work on these. If not, we're going to take all this shit back off and put a different set on and give them a shot. But that's all part of building something that's not made for what you're using it for.
Alright guys, sorry this one was kind of a lengthy video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and as always, the comment section is turned off, but feel free to reach us at texasdragracer@yahoo.com.